One of the great sprint races, the Newmarket Handicap, down that straight at Flemington. Group 1, 1.5 million. Great race.
Exciting, very deep Newmarket this year. We can't wait for it in the barrier draw. I don't think it's as important as it normally is in some of these big races, but there are a couple of little things we need to look out for.
The big guns are drawn out wider, and I'm interested in whether it matters. Home Affairs from 16 and Masked Crusader 13.
Does not matter. Does not matter for either of those two horses. I'll explain shortly. There's only two barriers really to look at. Zatori, who got every favour last year, drawn similar to win last year's Newmarket, and Artorius, which I'll get to in a moment, but again, draws inside, and it just doesn't work for the big boy.
Right, I want to have a look at the big guns here. We've got Masked Crusader, of course, Artorius, Home Affairs and Lost and Running. Where are you going to have them in the run?
All right, I'm going to start off with a real easy one. Artorius just flops out of the gates. I've always believed that Artorius is a miler, but no one in the whole country agrees with me, including the connections. He is flying, but he'll flop straight out the back, so he's going to need some type of speed lane to come flying home later. Masked Crusader, likewise. A little slow out of the gates. Needs the luck. If you look at last year's Everest, if he gets luck, he probably wins. So if he brings that type of form, he's in it with a huge way. September run will be back to keep him company. Let's talk about Lost and Running. You'll get to the market in a minute, but the money is coming for it. I have a concern with the Flemington Straight, but he's going to get a really nice run in transit. Swats that here. The astrologist, finance tycoon will just cruise along like he did last start when he won at Caulfield. So he'll sit right off that pace. Home Affairs, led in the Lightning, but that's probably more so because Nature Strip was so bad away. I don't think Home Affairs has to lead, but will definitely be on pace. Of course, we've got Oxley Road and Snap Dancer there as well. But these are experienced horses. They'll come straight down the guts of the straight six. But I think those horses that go back like Artorius need a little bit of luck to be able to win this week. Hence why I think... Any money for it?
Well,
tell me.
Well, have a look at this. Lost and Running's been the one they've backed. $4.80 into $3.90. Home Affairs is out the gate. $3.10 out to $3.70. And a little move at big odds for Swats that. Another one of the big finishers. 26 into 16.
All right, well, I'm going to defy the drift. Last week, I ignored Haitotsu, another 3-year-old colt that I loved, and I blew my cash. This week, I'm staying with the superstar Home Affairs. I think he'll go to Ascot and win down the straight there as well. And I love horses who know what to do down the Flemington Straight 6. Helvorson's one of them, so an each-way play, including in all my multis. Confidence meter around 3 out of 5, because I am concerned about Lost and Running. If he handles the straight, he's going to be in it for a long way.
I'm going to need luck, but I'm going for those swoopers. They're going to get back to near last, Masked Crusader and Artorius, but I think they'll be storming home when it matters, and I reckon one of them can get the cash. I'm going to go a 3 out of 5. Do you think it'll be a leaders, a swoopers race? Leave it in the comments below. Now to the Australian Cup, a race with so much great history behind it. 2,000 metres, Group 1, $1.5 million.
All right, Hamo, I was going to try and explain the best way to ride this particular race, but then I thought, you know what? Let's get an expert.
The 2,000 metre start at Flemington. This is a beautiful start. You've got about 800 metres before you start turning. Doesn't matter where you draw, basically. You'll see them jump out, take their time, get their position. It's a great start.
It is most certainly a great start. So the settle grid's a little bit easier. Hamo, what do you want to know?
3, I want you to focus on and where they're going to be in the run. Cascadian, drawn nicely. Think It Over, drawn nicely. Spanish Mission, barrier 10.
All right, Cascadian, barrier 2. We'll get to a rail. Was on the rail a couple of weeks ago at Caulfield, was able to get out and win. Went up the rail as well when ran second into McKinnon behind Zaki last spring. So perfectly drawn. We'll get a nice run in transit. Now, Think It Over. It left Sydney because it just keeps bucketing down. Gets here, perfect dry track, and is drawn perfectly in barrier 4, and essentially can get probably the run of the race in the box or maybe even a pair back. Spanish Mission's the interesting one. Barrier 10, now call sign Mav, Yonkers will both go forward, but I'm not certain there's going to be a great deal of speed. Delph will be there, Maximal as well. So the big question mark, do you try and push all the way forward with Spanish Mission and turn it into a bit more of a staying test? I think you probably just try and get the backside of a Think It Over of Maximal, and then at the 800, really click it up and make it a bit of a stamina, really endurance race. But Think It Over, Cascadian, perfect run in transit. Spanish Mission, the big question mark. What is the market telling me?
Well, the betting's been really interesting here because Think It Over has been well back. Let's have a look at the latest Ladbrokes market, $3.10 into $3. Spanish Mission, easy, out to $4.40. Cascadian, in a nibble, $8.50 to $8. And Duis, $9.50 into $8 is a solid move.
Multi-facet play for me here. I'm going to back Cascadian. He's got Zaki form, and he's a red-hot favourite.
Lots
for the
of numbers
All-Star
here.
Mile. There is a lot of Rain Man for me this week. Cascadian, Think It Over. As I said, bone-dry track, gets the perfect run in transit. But Maximel, he was great in his first run in the Golden Eagle in Australia. He was putrid, resuming last start. But if he brings his international form, he could run a big one. So, win, 1-2 in the same race, multi top 4. Maximel thrown in there as well with Huey Bowman. I hope that made some type of sense.
Confidence level?
I'm going to go 4 out of 5. I'm going to bump it up because I love this race and I think I'm pretty much on the money.
Out of all that, I agree with one thing.
Go on.
I'm on Cascadian on an each-way basis. Love the win last start. Think he'll only improve off that. And I'm going to go a 4 out of 5 as well. I think he's going to be really hard to hold out late here. Can Cascadian win this Australian Cup? Leave it in the comments below.